Thank you for the last opportunity. I really like the comment of Mr. Manuel. But one thing I want to add about this question is how to improve it is creating a structure routine. When it's good, but there is routine also.
Mhm.
When you have a routine, like we have a to-do list, we can do that. That can help you to improve self-discipline. Another thing I really like when I was preparing this part is practice emotional regulation. Sometimes, like Mr. Sunday said in the first comment, when you're in the bad mood, you don't feel like doing anything. Your goal can be broken. Achievement will be disabled because if you're mentally you're not okay, you're not feeling. Sometimes even I can read a chapter and I read it again because my mind wasn't in it because I was in the bad mood and I just read it. But after I say I didn't learn anything about it, I just read it again because my mind wasn't. But it's better you do it. That's
Mhm.
maybe you're gonna keep your routine than not doing anything, just lay down, but think about negative emotion, negative thinking that will not lead you nowhere. But when you know how to manage your emotion, it will not drive your action. You acknowledge your feeling without letting you control you. You know, okay, I'm in a bad mood. Yo, I'm stressed, but you don't let it drive you away from your goal. Like I said, even though I'm not feeling a good mood, I read anyway because I know I have to read. Even though I'm gonna read the chapter again, but I read it because I know today, okay, I read. I didn't learn, it's okay. But I stick to my goal for the day. I have to read this chapter and I've done it. And
Mhm.
another thing you're gonna say will gonna help you improve is track your progress. When you track your progress, you'll say, okay, I have a problem. I read, but I cannot make a summary. I'll say, okay, I'm gonna try next time to make a summary. And I try it, and I listen it to myself. I say, okay, that's good. Reward yourself. When you track your progress and you reward yourself, that's when you acknowledge your progress. You acknowledge your, okay, I'm learning English. I'm bad at pronunciation, but I have a red who is beating me. But when I said it well, I reward myself. I laugh, I smile because I know I do something right. When we did that, that's gonna help you to keep improving and improving. If someone keep talking negatively about themselves, you cannot make any progress. So self-discipline don't want that. Self-discipline want us to be positive. Self-discipline gonna help us to say we can do it. We're gonna do it, and we're gonna keep doing it. That's why I like about this question. Thank you, sir.
Mhm. Congratulations, my beautiful Steffi. You did a really good job. Not only in that question, but you did a really good job during 3 hours we spent together. I will thank you and congratulations. Mr. Stanley, you get the microphone, open it and say the last words, please,
Yeah,
about
yeah,
the
yeah.
question six.
Thank you one more time, my dear teacher Michael. And I don't want to congratulate my dear friend Mr. Manuel because he said everything that I want to say, but me, I'll try to say it in other way. And what are some good ways that a person can improve their self-discipline? Me, I think that it's something that I try to teach people. I try to highlight people too. It's to take yourself back, ask yourself a couple of questions, because sometimes we pick up something, it is because we got a friend that learned that thing, and because of that we just want to learn it. When you start by asking yourself a couple of questions, why I want to speak English, it is because that I want to improve my career. It is because that I just want to have a better life. And after being clear about the question, about those questions, after everything is crystal clear, now you can sit down, you take a sheet of paper, you write down your goals, you write a clear path, because sometimes the fact that we get lost in the learning process, it is because we are lost in the learning process. We don't know which path to take. We don't know which path will get us where we want us to go. We don't know which path to take when the dark moment come, because the dark moment will come to you, because you don't you are not on earth to live a normal life where everything is okay for you. When the tough get going, you need to stand there. You need to stand for yourself. The fact that you have sit down and then you set up some clear path, you set up some clear plans. That means you project yourself into the future and then you get back to the present moment with something that is clear, that is crystal clear. Even though something bad happened to you, even though some adversities, you face some adversities, but you will still have your head straight toward your goals. You will keep your chin up. You will still hang in there. It is because you have a clear path. Despite being frustrated, about the situation, despite being, you know, helpless, despite having, some helpless friend, you will still, go straight to your path because you have a clear path in front of you. I remember something that happened to me. It is a personal experience that I do want, to share with you guys. It's like, sometimes I feel frustrated about myself because I feel stuck in the learning process. And I can't find, somebody, just to practice. The thing happens to me, the fact that I've been frustrated it is because, I associate my goal with some partners, English partners. If I don't find someone, to practice, I'll do anything. I'll keep, searching for people just to practice and say, no, I can't keep up like this. I can't, give someone else, the responsibility for my own dream. I need to be responsible, for my own situation. And then I resolve whether I find someone, to practice or not. I will keep doing something that is worthwhile that can really help me, to move forward. And then just, I just do such as I could that can really help me. It's the same thing, guys. If you really want, to improve your self-discipline. If the goals are too big, for you, to realize, as my dear friend Mr. Manuel said, just bring it down into small pieces and every day resolve, to take a piece of bite. And then by doing so, your behavior are inconsistent with your long-term goals, and then you will feel happy and your self-discipline will be improved because at that time you really do something that really help you, to move forward. You will feel happy and then you will feel like you walk in the air because what, now you're working on something that is not procrastination, that is not something low value, but that is something that is high value and can really help you where you want to go. That can really help you, or that can really put you under the highlight. I think it's all, and thank you, my dear teacher Michael. Thank you a lot, and I just hope that one day we will have the same club because that club is on fire. I will like everything, teacher Michael, and I learn a lot as well. Thank you a lot, dear teacher.
So thank you a million, my dear brother, from another mother, you, my dear brother, Mr. Stanley. I really thank you, and I really congratulate all of you, dear folks.